Tonight we are here at Halloween Horror Nights 33 for opening night with exclusive rights to film inside the houses, and I'm taking you through all 10, starting with Museum Deadly Exhibit.
Everything's possessed. What would it do to my animal? Get out of here! Show me your throat! Show me your throat!
I actually don't have a ton of time to talk about the house right now because we are headed into the next house immediately, and it is one that I have been so excited about. There was a house back in 2018 called Slaughter Cinema, and this is the sequel, naturally called Slaughter Cinema 2.
Till you drop the Marty. Heavy as hell.
Night of the Undead Cloud.
Your discretion is advised.
So just got out of those two houses. I loved Slaughter Cinema so much. I was so happy with the house back in 2018. I've been waiting for them to do something with the properties. Like, one of the things that stemmed from the Slaughter Cinema, the first one, was the Yeti's house that I love. Like, the Yeti franchise, I guess that's what we're going to call it now, is one of my favorite that has come out of Halloween Horror Nights. So you got like the Swamp Yetis in that house in 2018, and then in 2019 we got Yeti, like Terror of the Yukon, and then last year we had the Yeti Campground Kills, and then in the museum house, museum wasn't my favorite. I really wanted to see some Ben Stiller action. I wanted some Easter Island chewing bubblegum, and it was they weren't really chewing bubblegum. They were there to kill people. So I really wanted some Ben Stiller, but we got killers instead. I know at this point it seems like we are going at a breakneck pace, but like all these tents are backstage and they're all kind of close together, and they don't really want us having to walk as much as you have to walk between the tents most of the time. So we are going to do these first 4 houses, and then we can slow down and talk a little bit and try to catch our breath from being scared. I said we were going super fast, and now we stopped for a second. There hasn't really been a Monsters House miss since like 2019. So this one shouldn't miss at all.
This is from the house of Dracula. I was given this name by my father's death at the hands of Dracula's daughter. Darkness has fallen and our bloodline is dying out. I will take my revenge and destroy Dracula's vile progeny and all the
I don't trust that that's not real. I do not trust that that's not real.
You foul beast!
So we just got out of the Monsters House. Once again, didn't miss. Really enjoyed it. A lot of huge set design. So there's 2 new tents back here that are like, they're huge. Like compared to the old tents that we're used to having here at Orlando, these tents are massive, and there are big sets inside. There's some stuff that goes into stories in the houses that if you're not paying close attention, or if you don't have great guides like we have for these media nights and like for the RIP guides that do this event, you would miss stuff. And so in that house, he was talking about how in most of the houses, you typically, like, the heroes survive. Like, we barely get out of the houses. You get out of the houses alive. But in that house, we got to see the end of the Van Helsing, like, line and some of the classic monsters, like they just won, which is interesting because I somehow I missed that. But that's what happened.
We all love celebrating Thanksgiving. We gather around all of our favorite dishes, and we are taking you into Goblin's Feast. the big celebration for all of Goblin kind that they hold once a year. They prepare for it all year, preparing their special dishes, collecting their things that they need throughout the year, their fruits, their pies, and of course, their humans. Because there's nothing quite as succulent and juicy as human flesh.
So now we're actually about to head into Goblin Feast, which has been one of my most anticipated houses all year. I'm kind of a nerd, and I love like Dungeons and Dragons, and so goblins kind of go hand in hand with that. However, after hearing what they said about how they just want to eat us, less excited. You think these goblins know the goblins in Diagon Alley at like Green Guns?
You disrespect the ancestors! Huh! Delicious! Ah! God! The food is a stipend!
Okay, so we are finally out into the park. So we've been backstage this whole time just going through houses, and what a way to wake up. Like, I hope y'all are awake, because I am, for sure. It's going to be a long night, but I am wide awake because we just staying scared right there. So, Goblin's Feast was everything I wanted it to be. I have been really excited about that house, and I didn't even know a fun fact that they told me about it. So once you've been going to the event for a while, years start running together, and you don't really have anything to separate them. You just kind of remember certain houses, especially if they're really good. And so I think it was 2 years ago, I think it was HHN 31, there was a house called Dead Men's Pier Winter's Wake. Dead Men's Pier Winter's Wake. I'll say it one more time just so I get it out this time. And so I was talking about how much I loved the design of Goblin Feast, like how much I enjoyed the design after we got out of it. I was talking to some people, and our guides told us that the person who designed Dead Men's Pier is the same person who designed that one. So it makes a ton of sense. I didn't know that before going in, but now I like that house even more because that house was so good. So if you're wondering why I am all of a sudden in Diagon Alley, that's because, like I told you, we were bulldozing through those houses, and we have like an extra 30 minutes, so we're just going to hang out here. The Death Eaters have made a return this year. So last year was the first time they had Death Eaters in Diagon Alley, and all throughout this area there's like green boxes. I'll see if I can capture them. Apparently they're not on like a timer, like they're not on a schedule, so like I don't know when they'll come out. It sounds like they may be out behind me. But yeah, so we're taking a little break, which is nice to just be able to hang out and talk for a minute. I'm going to grab some water, and then we're going to get back to getting scared. Scary. There's a lot of people just standing in a scare zone, and twice I thought it was a scare actor. We are making our way through one of the scare zones because we're about to go take another break. We're going to go get some food and something to drink. I need some water. But this is Torture Fair. I don't normally cover the scare zones too much in these videos because we're just always like pushing. Like you saw earlier, we were in backstage doing the houses for for a long time, but the scare zones are some of the best parts. There are nights that I'll come to the event and I won't go into a house. I'll just sit in the scare zones because I just love it. I love it so much. Howdy.
Can you please help me?
I'm still looking for that key.
You haven't found it yet?
I'll find it tonight.
Tim said it was in someone's mouth. I don't know how accurate.
I'll go look for it. We're looking for a key. We are looking for a key. Nope, no key. That guy needs a key too. What's going on?
What's going on?
You good?
How you doing?
Good, how are y'all?
Good.
I have not seen a single key anywhere.
Well, the nice thing with the sound stages is that we have 5 houses lined up in a row, and we are going to do it in the most efficient way, where we're not back and forth through these lines, and we are going to do 5 houses in probably about 40 minutes. Probably a little bit less, depending on how long we talk and tell you stories. Yeah. You guys ready for these? We'll tell you the first one when we get over there.
Starting off, you heard him say that we were going to do like 5 houses in a row. First is one I've been hearing a lot about. Everyone's talking about Insidious and how terrifying it is, and a lot of people are screaming when they come out of it. I've heard people talk about them being out of breath. So I am excited about this one. I've seen the first movie like a long time ago, so I'm not sure if I'll catch all the references, but I hope I catch all the scares.
Go outside. Let my voice be your guide. Keep a steady stride. Into the further you go.
He's got your baby. He's got your baby.
Go to hell! Go to hell!
If you weren't expecting to see me like this, don't worry. I wasn't expecting to see you like this either. So do you remember right before the Insidious house, when I was introing it, there was like this little clip that made this weird popping sound? First is one of, yeah, that sound right there. So that was just a little warning shot of what was to come. Basically, my audio is cooked. Luckily, it's just my audio, so it's just like my reviews for the houses, because I've still got all the footage from the camera that I was running, but the camera that was capturing me talking about the houses, that's gone. Just so you have a little idea, the clip sounded sort of like this. Seriously, like, some of them sounded like this. Alright, so I have a lot of fill-ins. Others sounded like this. To be fair, one of the houses that we'll do tonight is A Quiet Place, so that one, very on theme. Obviously, it sucks, but what can you do? You know what they say, when life hands you lemons, you do voiceovers. But I guess we should talk a little bit about Insidious. Insidious was terrifying. Everyone has been saying that it's like the scariest house that they've ever been through. I don't know about that. I think Scarecrow the Reaping was way scarier. That's like my favorite house ever at Halloween Horror Nights. This one's really good, and it's early in the season, so like as houses progress, sometimes like they just get better. I mean, there's houses that I can think of where they weren't very good the first time I went through them, and then they were great by the end of it. So as the season goes on, I can see this house really, really intensifying. If you are a person who doesn't do well with scares and scare actors being like this, like right up in your stuff, that house is going to be an issue. Great house. One of the strongest houses of the year so far. The part that I really hate is there were some really magical moments that I no longer have, specifically with this next house, which is Ghostbusters, my most anticipated house of the year. Something really special happened after the fact, and I'll talk about it after the house. So yeah, here's Ghostbusters.
When there's something weird in the neighborhood, who are you gonna call?
Mr. Rogers.
Ghostbusters. I was gonna say the police. What did you say? You said
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers? Yeah. Man, you're a bunch of weirdos.
The hammer gets the views. Sorry, lady. The hammer gets the views.
Commanding information. Baraka. Now he's headed straight for us.
I'm going to take a PKE reading. Whoa! Off the charts telekinetic energy! Full bore convective spatter! The proton fields are down.
too old for this.
Absolutely insane. Like everything I could have ever asked for in that house, like every scene, every iconic scene that you want to be in that house is in there. That was like, I'm like speechless. Like I was almost in tears a couple of times. It's insane. I thought the house was absolutely beautiful. Just a stunning house. Some really good scares. The only negative that I would have about it is I wish it was a little bit colder. With that being said, I talked extensively, and I've talked extensively about how much Ghostbusters means to me. Like it was just a huge part of my childhood. The movies came out before I was born, but my brothers had like all the toys. And so like when I was growing up and saw them playing with the toys and they had the toys, I always, it just became a part of my childhood. Like some of my fondest memories are like running around with the old proton packs and the ghost trap and playing with the Ecto-1. It just all that stuff. And so I'm talking about that walking down the alleyway, like in between the two sound stages, and I hear someone yell my name, and it's my brother, who I haven't seen since Christmas. So it's my brother and my sister-in-law. And it's just a crazy moment where I saw them as I'm talking about this stuff, run over there and hug them. And it was just kind of emotional. But yeah, the house, it was great. I couldn't think of a scene from Frozen Empire that I missed in the house. Like there was nothing that I was like, oh, I wish they would have put that in there. The Ecto-1, all that. It was wonderful.
Next up, Triplets of Terror. Now here at Universal Orlando, we love our psychotic children, but we also love it when our psychotic children grow up. So that's kind of what's happening in this house. March 3rd, 1984, the triplets were celebrating their birthday party. These were not your average triplets, they're our kind of beloved triplets. They revisit that old birthday party and celebrate once again in the exact same fashion, taking random people and massacring them again, but bringing back that birthday spirit. And all of the mementos they created during that first massacre, they will recreate that same modus operandi as they did in their birthday party. It is now 2024, 30 years later. No, God, 40 years, I'm so old. 30 years later, I'm such a young man.
Sorry, Charles Gray called him 59 years old on the podcast. Oh, I know. You're not 59, not yet.
Not yet.
Like next year.
If they were 9 in 84, they are younger than me.
Yeah, all right.
So we're gonna go through these triplets that are clearly much younger than me and see their latest and greatest hits. You guys ready?
Okay, before we get into the triplets house, I liked it when I heard about the concept, but there have been a couple of previews, a couple of nights that people have gone through the houses before tonight, and there is something in this house that I'm not excited to see or hear or whatever. Like, I'm not going to show it in the video, but I'll talk about it afterwards because it would really upset me to see it. But I'm going to see for myself before I just write it off. But yeah, we'll see if it's in here.
at night, performing murderous ritual.
OJ, idiot!
Nine!
So here's what's interesting. Went through triplets. I have thoughts about triplets, but actually one of the audio clips that was saved somehow was my thoughts on triplets. So it'll be like kind of a retroactive review here in a little bit. Like you'll see that towards the end of the, it's not really towards the end of the video, after we get through these soundstage houses. So like basically what's happening here is, like they said in the first clip, we're just going through all these houses pretty quickly. But yeah, triplets, I have thoughts. So one of the cool things about doing it like this is I can think about things that I noticed after the house and talk about them before. So with Quiet Place, which is our next house that we're going into, you've got to listen to how quiet it is in the house. Like they did a great job with theming. Most of the time when you go through haunted houses at Halloween Horror Nights, there's just like background music and a lot of noise like everywhere. You just have tons of noise. And this house, they actually made it super quiet. So no music, not a lot of ambient noise. It's really eerie.
And as I'm coming over here, I'm like, this would be a great place. And then the air compressor for our makeup artist kicks on. And it's kind of hard to set up a quiet place next to a compressor. But our next house will be a quiet place. One of the cool things about, there we go.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about this house is that we tried to make this house as realistic as possible. One of the few things that we can't really do here at Halloween Horror Nights is make a quiet house. You've seen the franchise, you know how this works. Make any noises, those creatures are gonna immediately jump right on you, you're dead. So you have to be as quiet as possible.
the review for this house as a whisper, because I also did that during the video. So the house was really good. A lot of puppets in the house. As someone who hasn't seen Quiet Place, my first thought was, boy, those are big demigorgons. I don't know whether it did the movie justice, because I haven't seen the movie. But as someone who hasn't seen it, I enjoyed the house. The next house that we went in.
Okay, I'm done with that bit. I do not want to do that anymore. Whispering is hard on my voice. The next house is monstrous or monstrose. I'm not really sure how to say it. I'm from Tennessee. Cut me some slack. This was my favorite house in HHN Hollywood last year, and probably my favorite house from HHN Hollywood ever. I just thought it was a spectacular house. The scare actors were so intense in this house in Hollywood, and like the big animatronics, there was just a lot of things to love. And so when I heard it was coming to Orlando, it was instantly really high up on my hype list. I didn't really care if they just took it and like replicated it here, because I knew it would be a success.
En el aire volando, en el aire volando. Dígame usted cuántas criaturitas se Esta tumba es para mí. This grave is for you.
I'm just going to hold the mic because it is loud. We just finished up with the Monstrous House. Like I said, it is basically just a transplant from the Hollywood house, which makes me really excited because a lot of people didn't get to experience that house, and I loved it last year. Now let's backtrack. Let's go to the Triplets of Terror house. I did not like the house for one main reason. So early on in the house, and this is a trigger warning, I didn't put it in the video. If you have any issues with like animal cruelty, like me, you're not gonna like this. Pretty early on in the house, there is a scene where there is a dead dog, and I know it seems crazy that upsets me, because like we're going through haunted houses where there's a lot of blood and gore, but there's something about animals, like, and especially dogs and cats, that like I did not like it. Like that really it took me out of it. Like the rest of the house, I was just not really feeling it. Like I don't know, I just did not care for it whatsoever after that point. All I could think about was the dog. Like it was like barking, and then all of a sudden you hear, I'm not even going to describe it. It really upset me. I don't know. That house, I don't know if I'll go back through it at all this year. It's not that the scare actors, it's not anything about it. The design's beautiful. The scare actors are killing it. They're doing a great job. The dog part really, it's just not something I want to see anymore. Do y'all think I'm overreacting to that? Like, I honestly, I know why it bothered me. Like, my dogs are the most important thing in the world to me. Like, I love my dogs, and I love all dogs. Like, I just do. I feel like I could be slightly overreacting, but also at the same time, I don't know, it made the rest of the house just like, I was just out of it at that point. So like, just, if you think I'm overreacting, tell me, but also like, it's just how I feel about it. I figured we might as well record when we get close to really loud copyright music. We are on to our last house of the night, and so this is Major Suites. This is a prequel house to a scare zone that was here 2 years ago again, I believe. I think it was 2 years ago. We had the Major Suites scare zone in New York, and so this is like the origin story of the candy factory. So this is actually his candy factory and like where all the poison candy's made. And I loved that scare zone. I think it's one of the best scare zones we've had in this area in a long time. So I've been excited about the house. I've also heard in this house they have returned some of like the interactive stuff. So there used to be buttons in a lot of the houses, like in the 2015, 2019 era of houses, there was like buttons you could press. I've heard they've made a return. All right, final. Did you cut me off? Did you cut me off? All right, final house of the night. Don't cut me off this time.
Come on, chaperone. You better get inside before the kids eat all the free samples. Major Sweets candy. Flip your lids, kids. Come on, chaperone.
While the kids eat their candy, we'll have that one. The tourists.
Get the principal! It's the candy! It's turning the kids against us!
But I didn't know. But I didn't know how creative they could be.
Thought you could get away. If the kids don't get you, I'm putting you in the trash compactor.
That's our sugar rush. That's our sugar rush.
They should be in smaller pieces, my sweet.
That was a great house to end the night with. Major Sweets Candy Factory is the best house that has been in that location since they started using it. So it's in the Fast and Furious queue. I really enjoyed it. There are so many of those interactive buttons because apparently I missed a ton of them. Our guides, Paul and Adam, were telling us that they were everywhere, and there's even some that aren't necessarily a button. So keep a lookout for them. If you are somebody who goes to this house a ton and then you watch this video, let me know how many there are. I think I've found like 4. I think that's all I've found. But that does it. That is all 10 haunted houses at Halloween Horror Nights 33. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I had an absolute blast. I am ready to drink some water. I'm gonna go through the scare zones, and then I'm gonna go home and lay with my dogs and love my dogs. Before I go, a quick happy birthday to Anna. Happy birthday, Anna. I hope you had a great night. And now I'm going home. Actually, scare zones, then home. Okay, bye.